I'm gonna try to set you guys up real quick. I'm in my car, as you can see. I'm posted up by a park because I'm waiting for my son, who's not here. He's at a local library, volunteering as a voter, worker, whatever it's called. I voted today. See there? I voted. Let's see. Okay, so nobody's on yet. Great. I'm going to set you up while I try to figure this out real quick. Some kind of. Hang on. Hi, everybody. Oh, hi. I see people. What's up? What's up? What's up? You and me, I wasn't planning to do this, but I figured, I'll do it. So, I'm basically sitting here killing time because, first of all, I took a very long walk, beautiful walk. You see how beautiful it is outside. It's like 70 degrees in November. Very happy about that. So I've been on my walking kick lately, taking really long walks. I did 6.5 miles yesterday. I was very proud of myself. And today I did 4. I had to hurry because I had to get my son to this thing. But I did 4 this morning, which was great. I might go out again later. We'll see. And then I dropped him off. I thought I was going to have to be an election judge too. I thought I was signed up for it, but they were like, no, you can go. So I was actually happy. I was happy about that. So I've been running errands, and then I didn't want to go home and do like a quick turnaround. So I ran a couple errands. I have some stuff, some paperwork I need to fill out. Hi. Oh, hi, everybody. Where am I? I'm in Maryland. I'm in Chevy Chase, Maryland, as a matter of fact, which is right by DC. For those who don't know, it's right by DC. So, thank you, Joseph. So sweet of you. So I actually print at the library where he's doing this volunteer thing. I printed out some stuff, some documents that I needed to do for work and other stuff. And so I was filling those out in the car. Had a little snack, had a banana. I don't have much of an appetite these days, so I'm going with it. I'm like, cool. Anyway, but it's election day. So there's all of that. I don't know how much of that I want to talk about because it's been talked to death, right? And so I'll just say, I think if you're watching my channel, you may vote in a certain direction. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter, but I'm not interested in exploring that right now. What I do think, I'm island girl forever, Douglas. But no, it's funny because I've thought about that many times since I've been back in the States. And I mean, it's in my heart forever and ever, para siempre está mi corazón. Pero right now, no, I'm in the States. And in fact, I was just recently thinking about going to the DR for Christmas. Not sure. I looked at plane fares the other day. Whew, so expensive. But I'm on the East Coast, so it's a straight shot down, right? It should not be that expensive, but it is. So I don't know. I'm undecided. And it's last minute, right? So if that, look at that, Cargo Hustle. Thank you. Hit that like button. That's so sweet. Thumbs up, whatever. Subscribe if you haven't. No, so you would think from the East Coast it would be easy. Not easy, but it is easy, but it'd be inexpensive. But it is November, like I said, and people have made their plans months and months in advance. And when I first came back here, I've only been on the East Coast for a few months, and I didn't think I was going to be traveling. I figured we'd do all the holidays here with family this time around, and it looks like we probably will. But, I have friends down the DR, 800 round trip. To where? I need to know more details, please, Douglas. No, it was in the thousands. And I was like, what? And the thing is that I'm not working full time right now, right? So there was a time when, I would have dropped some thousands of dollars to fly out and, do whatever. That would not have been a big deal. But right now, it's I'm trying to be more mindful about that. So, and before it didn't cost thousands of dollars. I mean, I'm talking, it was I think one ticket, I mean, it depends on who you fly with. I think I looked at Delta the other day because I have miles on Delta, but I think one ticket round trip was $1,600. I'm like, you're kidding me. From here, it's not even far. So I don't know. I'll stay tuned and see if I can find some maybe last minute, dip down there fares. But otherwise, we'll probably be here. I'm hoping it's not going to be freezing cold. We'll see. We'll see. It would be so nice to get back there and like get some sun, get a tan, get all my golden back. Kelly is golden. You don't know about Kelly is golden. Kelly is golden is my email. I'll just say that. Is one of them. So anyway, yeah, so I've just been sitting here. I have about an hour till I get my son. And yeah, so I'm just kind of killing some time. But why did I get on today? I got on because, well, I have lots on my mind. But let's talk about this. The journey inward. We're going to get profound for a moment. Hi, Willie. Long time. Thank you, guys. I know people are like, where are you? You never come online anymore. You don't do any more videos. They used to be a lot better when I was on that island, have all that beautiful background and everything. But anyway, it's just kind of a regular life now. But there are transitions in life. There's all kinds of different transitions. And so I'm in the midst of a transition now. I went from the DR back to California, and now I'm on the East Coast. So huge transition. And, I'm fine here. I'm comfortable. It's obviously it's different. I don't have my core friends here. I do have friends from Russia. You don't understand what I'm talking about. But you watch me anyway. Well, thank you. Hi, Russia. I don't have my core friends here. I know people, but not like close. I got a couple people I'm cool with like that. You know what I mean? And some folks who are in and out of town. But anyway, the point is my best friend is in LA. A couple of my best friends are in LA. And then I have people scattered out all over the world, really. And so that has been a little bit challenging. I mean, we talk, but it's like I can't go to my girl's house and kick it or that kind of thing. So I lost my train of thought again. Because what it is, I'm reading the comments and then I get distracted. Maybe that's it. My phone's connected to Bluetooth. Tell me if you can hear me. Holla if you hear me. Can I get a thumbs up or something if you can hear me? Joseph, you're responding. Can you hear me? I don't know. Can somebody please say yeah? Okay, thank you, Billy. Okay, so yeah, so if you're in an unfamiliar location, an unfamiliar situation, a transition, anything like that that's kind of difficult, not surprisingly, you want to reach out and grab onto something, a life raft, a friend. Again, you call your familiar friends, your people, or something like that, or I don't know. I mean, some people they go into I don't want to say addiction things, but self-soothing. I'll call it that, self-soothing. So maybe you're a shopper, or you smoke, or you drink, or you gamble, whatever. There's a lot of different ways. People have sex, people overdo even exercise, right? It can be not as good as it should be sometimes for you if you don't handle it the right way. So I don't feel like I'm necessarily doing that. I feel like I'm generally a pretty balanced person and able to maintain, even when things are a little bit chaotic. But I will say that, when you pay attention to yourself, if you pay attention to yourself, you can notice your habits, right? Okay, are you an emotional eater, or are you an avoider, or are you, do you procrastinate? Whatever. I mean, there's endless ways that people can try to manage their stress and their discomfort and everything. So one of the things I'm doing in the midst of all these different transitions is beginning to really pay attention to what am I doing? See the park back there? That's pretty good in the street behind me. What am I doing to manage this? And let me really pay attention, because I heard something recently that said, if you find that you are going after something that helps you feel soothed, it's actually an indication of you running away from yourself. Ooh, running away from yourself because you are uncomfortable and you want to find that thing, whatever it is, fill in the blank, to to like fit in the puzzle piece, right? To make you feel better, to give you some relief from whatever the discomfort is you're feeling. And I was like, that's interesting. That's kind of profound, right? So I began to think about that. Like, are you kidding, Netherlands? Oh my God. Goodbye with that. I got no time for you. And I'm sure you are not, that is not the majority. But anyway, I'm not going to respond to that anymore. Yeah, but so we reach for things to help us through difficult times, right? Friends, family, whatever. And I think that's fine, but I think it's also really important to pay attention to, like, are you reaching for things so you don't really have to deal with whatever the issue is, some kind of difficulty, or, you know what I mean? Something like that. And so I've been paying attention, like, okay, what am I doing, first of all? How am I, like, self-soothing, right? How am I dealing with transition and challenges and all that? And some of the things are really good. Like, I've been doing lots and lots of walks lately because that's like my time to just, decompress and cool out and get away from, like, cars. And can you see the street behind me? Get away from cars and stuff and just be in nature. It just feels so good. And I think sometimes I don't, like, intentionally think about things. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to manage a particular issue, let's say. But other times I'm not really trying to think about anything. I'm just walking and, like, enjoying the sounds of nature. But I notice, like, thoughts pop up, right? I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That's on your mind, or you're thinking about it in this way. So I think that's good. Um, um, and then there's times I'm like, okay, how am I handling, what am I really doing here to manage this? And so, like I said, I remember this was a few weeks back. Well, I can't recall what exactly what the catalyst was, but I ate some cookies. Because it was like an instant serotonin shot, or whatever it is, dopamine, I don't know, one of those type things. It was like, okay, it just helped me in the moment. And obviously in that moment, I was like, what are you doing? This is counterproductive. Why are you going to walk all these miles and then eat cookies? Like, that's just, it doesn't make any sense. So I caught myself, right? So, and interestingly though, lately I've not had much of an appetite. So, so that's cool. So I'm trying to get all my walking in. When it starts to get cooler, I know I'm going to go indoors and start doing more exercise. There's a couple of places nearby that are easy to get to, and I can, I'm already hooked up to get that in. In fact, I was at a place yesterday trying to sign my son up for something, and there were people playing indoor volleyball, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I used to play that, actually, intramural in college. I did it way when I was really young, and then in college I did intramural volleyball for a while, which was really fun. I don't know if I could really do that now. It depends. I used to own knee pads and the whole bit, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, all of this is just to say, how are you handling challenges that you come upon, right? Are you falling into patterns that are not good for you, whether it's like eating or, pick something. I was going to say something, but I feel like I don't know if I want to. Should I say it? It's for the men. I mean, it's for women too. I feel like it's more for men than for women, but it could be for women too. Okay, I'll say it. I'm going to say it. Yes, Joseph. Okay, so the reason I think it's more for men is because I do think men are more inclined to have casual sex. And the reason I think that is because I tend to think that men can disengage and compartmentalize easier than women can. Now, I know this is a big generalization. It's not everybody, but I think in some cases that's true. And so that can be a way that people soothe themselves, for sure, right? And it's understandable, right? Nature, whatever. But, I think it's a slippery slope. And so I think again, not everybody, can't say all women, all men, but I would say generally speaking, I think men are better at that, or maybe not better, but they have an easier time with it because they can, have the pleasure sensation and then be like, okay, thank you, and I'm done, and keep on going with whatever their day is about or their life is about. Women, I think it can be a little bit trickier because our emotions are more tied in there, and so if you can disconnect like that and it's strictly transactional, okay, I guess that's fine. If not, then you run the risk of creating another other pleasures in life than the flesh. Absolutely. That's kind of my point, is that, you know, while it may feel like, yes, immediate relief or something, I'm an emotional person, and so I know me. I have to be careful. So that's all I'll say about that. I'm not going real personal with that. But yeah, I mean, because I mean, we know that that's a very big way that many people, I won't say cope necessarily, but it's a way of managing, well, self-soothing, like I was saying. Just like eating or spending, overspending. I mean, like I said, even exercise can be overdone if you are doing it like to escape. Workaholism. I remember there was a time in my life, and I would never consider myself a workaholic normally. I do what I have to do. I do a good job, all that. But there was one time in my life when I was absolutely in a stressful situation. It was a better relationship, and I started working and working and working. Like I had a second job, like a temp thing I was doing on top of a regular job. And it was in this big, tall office building in a downtown location where I was living. And I had a key card, so I could come into the building anytime, day or night, 24 hours, whatever. And I was in there like, like, oh my God, this car with Trump signs just flew by. This truck with these big, pickup truck with these big Trump signs just flew by. That's a trip, because Maryland's pretty blue. But anyway, yeah, so I was going into this place, like, I remember being in there like at 4 a.m. one night, just completely, you know, not wanting to be at home, not wanting to have all that. And so, yeah, so workaholism, and I remember that's when I realized that I was like, oh, that's what workaholism is about. It's an escape. It's not so much that, I mean, maybe there's some people who just really, really enjoy their work or are super passionate about their job. I don't know. In my case, that was not it. Pardon me. It was that I just wanted to, it was an escape for me. And it was safe. You know, I was in this building tucked away. Yeah. So the whole point, though, is, like I said, self-soothing, introspection. You know, it's just kind of a PSA for you guys. For those who don't know, PSA means public service announcement. Just sharing. Okay? As a man, I too have found my strengths. One of super emotional strength. Really, that's good. Yeah, I think a lot of men don't get enough credit for having emotional strength or emotional capacity. You know, that tends to get assigned to women. And many women do have that. Not all of us. There's some women who are very kind of unemotional or can detach or, you know, whatever, maybe even kind of cold. But similarly, there are lots of men who are completely in touch with their emotions and are able to express them. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think men get a bad rap sometimes when they are perceived as not being strong, not being, you know, in control of their lives when they have quote unquote weak moments or you know, sad, vulnerable moments. Like that's not fair, right? Imagine, I think about if I couldn't ever like emote and I had to always present this like strong exterior, like I have it together, and I'm always going to be the one to, you know, the problem solver. Like that's a heavy load to carry. So yeah, so that's good that you said that. Why do you feel like you're in the car? Do you feel like you're in my car? There's room. It's just me right now. It's just me. Yeah, you guys. So that's one of the things. I've been thinking about a lot of things lately. Just trying to put myself in a good space so I can continue with all the things I have to do. And so, yeah, I think at times like this, like I'm saying, in terms of transition and whatnot, keep talking. I think at times of transition or when you feel challenged or, you know, you're maybe in an unfamiliar situation, all those kinds of things, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, like in my case, I have moved, that was voluntary. I've chosen to do certain things in my life that have created big transitions. That's all voluntary, but still, it's another big old truck, wow. But still, it can be uncomfortable, right? And then there are things that come upon you that you aren't expecting that also can just kind of throw you. But overall, I would say one thing I like about myself very much is that I do introspect frequently, you know, and I've done that for many, many years. You know, and I feel pretty good about what I see when I do check myself out like that. It doesnn't mean that everything's great, I have nothing to work on. There's always something, right? There's always some type of evolution, hopefully, if you're paying attention and you're open to it. But I don't feel like, oh my God, I have this major thing. You know, there's times fear pops up and I'm like, whoa, okay, I realize the reaction I'm having is fear-based because of whatever. Hi, Hugh. You know, I always love it when Hugh pops on. You're one of my favorite people, Hugh, one of my favorite viewers, and I hope that we get to run into each other again in the DR at some point because it's been forever. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. It's nice to hear from you. Um, Hugh, I'm going to catch you up. I don't know if you were already watching, but we're talking about when you have challenges in your life, whether it's voluntary, involuntary transitions that happen, being in a new place, you know, all that kind of stuff, having to deal with just, you know, the way life happens. We all get challenged, and so how do you handle that, right? And it's easy to do the external thing and reach for whatever it is. It gives you some sense of comfort, some sense of relief, even if it's temporary, drinking, you know, I mean, all the different things people do. It is much more challenging, but I think much more rewarding in the end if you are willing, if you're brave enough to go inside and just figure out, okay, like, first of all, how are you feeling? Do you feel scared by whatever the thing is? Do you feel sad? Are you angry? Like, what is happening? What do you know, do you feel like, I mean, I'm not going to go through all the possibilities, but, you know, whatever, you can think of a situation, right? And so what was the impact? And then I guess I would say, like, what does it make you want to do? So if, let's say, you're in a situation that makes you feel sad or makes you feel frustrated that, you know, let's say something didn't work out the way you wanted it to, okay, then what? You could acknowledge, I feel frustrated, I'm really upset, you know, I should have gotten a promotion at work, whatever. Okay. And maybe you really should have. Maybe you felt like cheated and you were there longer or whatever. But how are you going to handle that? You're going to go have drinks with your friends? Okay, I mean, you can. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, except if you're only doing that, if you're only having a drink, you're only doing the soothing thing, but not actually getting into the core of what is happening, right? And why, and dealing with that part. So I feel like I've been on this long enough. I feel like you guys get it. Like I said, it's my PSA, my public service announcement. Hi, Faisal. Hi, everybody's fine. Thank you very much for asking. I'm fine. My son is fine. I'm going to go pick him up in a little bit. Yeah, so that's what's kind of on my mind. How do you manage challenges in life? How do you manage discomfort? How do you manage whatever? Okay. So as I said, I'm sitting here in my car relaxing on this beautiful day. It's voting day here in the US, November 5th. We shall see what happens. I don't know. It blows my mind that it's even close, but that's where we are. So yeah, I thought I would just pop on and share a little bit of my thoughts. I've had some interesting conversations with friends lately. I've got some friends, like I've got a girlfriend who's dealing with breast cancer, sadly. And I've been noticing her attitude and just different people, you know, with what they have going on. Everybody's got something, you guys. Everyone's dealing with something. I've got some friends who've got some career challenges, just, you know, I mean, all the gamut, right? And it's interesting to talk to people. In fact, I talked to a girlfriend of mine just last night who was going through some very significant marital challenges and was really questioning if she was going to stay. And that this has been a long-standing kind of dilemma she's been dealing with. And but she sounded great yesterday. And, you know, I mean, because she has been doing the internal work to, like, you know, she's been doing meditation, like, you know, we were talking about that. And I was like, yeah, meditation. I'm going to start doing another cleanse, like a green juice cleanse and probably some fasting, and just really try to purify from the inside out. And anyway, so we were having those conversations. Oh, by the way, do you guys know who Joe Dispenza is? If you don't know Joe Dispenza and you're interested in any of this, I highly recommend Joe Dispenza's meditations. I did one last night. It was very good. They're long. If you're not familiar with him, they can seem kind of weird, but there's a method to it. In fact, there's a book. I showed you guys this book before. I have to find it. It's called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. And I've begun reading it. I don't know where I am in the book. I need to finish it. But he really breaks down kind of like what is happening when you're meditating and what exactly, you know, it's not super scientific, but it's very interesting. So if you have any interest in that, I would recommend it. I think that's all for today. Okay. Peace and love as always, guys. Take care. Have a great day. I hope that helps somebody. Okay.